Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, depending on which time zone you're in. Thank you all for taking the time to join us for our on-site inspection webinar. My name is Nick Massey. I'm an account manager with J.A. King, and I'm here with Scott Gillahan.
Good morning.
He is our senior on-site inspection technician. I wanted to just spend a few minutes with you all and tell you a little bit more about J.A. King's on-site inspection capabilities and how we're helping our current customers, as well as how we can potentially help you. So a few housekeeping items really quickly. You'll see on the screen, you've got options for a chat or Q&A. So feel free to ask any questions along the way. It will be completely anonymous, and we'll have a live Q&A session at the end where we can answer any questions that do come in during our time together. So the raise hand function won't actually work now, so feel free to use either that chat or Q&A button for any questions as they come up or as you think of them as we go through this. So first, I want to dive into what is on-site inspection and how J.A. King does it. So on-site inspection through J.A. King consists of having one of our technicians, such as Scott, come on site and help you measure any of your parts, fixtures, jigs, tools, dies, or molds. We can measure those back to part drawings or any CAD data. A lot of times we find this need is better for our customers when the parts are either too large to move, they may be too fragile, or you may need a quicker turn time, and for them to be done on site versus for you to send them into a dimensional lab. Also, another common occurrence is when your dimensional lab may be overrun internally. We can come in on site and help you get caught up with any measurements that you have as well. So leading into it, some of the services that we offer, these are some of the more common services that we see and that we perform. It's not limited to everything we can do, just what we see most often. So a few things that we see and we help our customers with a lot are any PPAP inspections, capability studies, and then of course prototyping as your parts are being developed, helping you really hone in on a process to making sure you're running and building good parts, good equipment. You don't run the risk of any excessive scrap being developed or waste. We also can help with first article inspections as well, dialing in that process as you're building either new products or making changes in your programs and processes. Any fixture certification, so check fixtures that you have, we can assist in certifying those fixtures back to our ISO 17025 standards. That way, when you're checking your parts that you're building, you'll have a known constant that you're measuring off of, and that fixture itself will be certified. We're helping with tool wear checks as well, making sure you're checking the lifespan of your tool, that you're not getting any unnecessary or extreme wear on one side or the other for any of your tools that you're using to stamp or make parts. Any engineering investigations we can assist with, helping you, again, dial in that process if you've got critical dimensions that you feel like are falling outside of what they should be, as well as help you in creating your master samples. We have the capability of doing 3D scanning back to CAD comparison, which we'll get into just a little bit more in a few slides of kind of how that works and can do that. Scott, do you have anything you'd like to add on?
Yeah, that'd be fine. I mean, most of the things that we see are the part inspections, but the tooling, we can verify tooling just like measuring a part if you got new tooling, or if you want to troubleshoot back to your tooling to see if that may be where a potential issue is coming from. And they create master samples, so we can take a current part and use that, make a CAD out of that, and compare back to that. If you don't have a 3D CAD you want to compare to, that can be an option as well.
Perfect. So a little bit about the equipment that we bring on site. We do have two Faro Quantum S portable CMMs. We have and you'll see two slides here with the specs of our arms. So the first one here is our larger arm. It's got a 3.5 meter measurement range. And with both arms, we do have the 8-axis scanning platform, as well as you'll have flexible mounting options, and we're running Polyworks inspector software for both arms. So depending on which arm and equipment we need and deem best for your measurement situation, will determine which arm we'll use. However, the reporting will be uniform across the board, no matter which equipment we use. So we're keeping that uniform for you. And again, this is just the specs for our 2.5 meter arm. We do have a little bit tighter tolerances for the smaller arm on the point probing capabilities. And both arms, again, do have 3D scan capabilities as well as point probing capabilities. So first, you want to figure out how you would get J.A. King on site to assist you with any measurement needs that you have. What you're going to do, essentially, the process is a very simple and quick process. What you do is first, internally, you will realize that you have a measurement need, either for one of the reasons discussed earlier or maybe a different, but ultimately you need some help with some measurements on site. What you would do is most likely you'll have your CAD's part drawings with called out critical dimensions already, but if not, it's always best to gather those ahead of time before reaching out to us. That way just streamlines the process. If once you have those items, you can reach out to J.A. King. You have a couple of options. So you can reach out to us via your local account manager, sales rep, or the local branch. If you don't know who that is yet, feel free to go to our website, www.jaking.com. And we have a form that you can request service for on there. It's very simple to fill out. And then we internally will filter it to the appropriate account manager to reach out to you. That local account manager is going to reach out to you, establish, get parameters of what you're looking to accomplish, would potentially set up an on-site meeting with you to come out, get a better idea of what you're needing to accomplish. That way we can formulate a proper solution for you. They will also then gather those documents from CAD or part drawings. That way we can look at them internally and be able to present you a solution that will suffice for your needs or your customers' needs. Once everything is agreed upon, we both parties agree, J.A. King and you agree that we have a solution that will work, then we're going to have either Scott or one of our other on-site inspection technicians come on site with the proper equipment, get set up to get your measurements. And then once completed, we'll actually provide you all data, inspection data, any certificates or data reports, and you'll actually be able to have those available to you 24/7 through Gauge Suite, which is our free cloud-based software that you can access any of your equipment data and inspection reports 24/7 from any internet-enabled device. So I want to kind of I'm going to let Scott talk more on the technical side of things, but what you're about to see is a couple of reports that we use and how our data reporting looks. So I'll let Scott kind of go over what we're looking at here on these certs.
Okay, so this is a typical report that J.A. King will provide. We can, no problem, if the customer has their own reporting that they use, we can plug the data in there pretty easily and quickly to be in your report that you need to report out to your customer. But this is sort of a typical view, and we get into a lot of the GD&T call-outs, and the software will go back to the latest ASME standards and ISO standards. You see the true position call out there. And there's the table information. And if that information, go down one page there, the table, we can dump that out into your company spreadsheet if need be, but this is a pretty typical representation of how the call outs and how the data will be reported. And that right there is part of the laser scanning that we'll get into. We'll see a little video here in a minute, and that's a color map showing the deviation. A lot of customers like to see that. You can see the entire profile of what your part is doing back to the CAD model, and you've got a spectrum over there showing your plus or minus on things staying in green, that they're okay, and the things going into yellow towards red are starting to get into the high end of the tolerance band there. So, and there's a table format as well, and those two dimensions that pass, but there's a little warning symbol there in the yellow to say, hey, that's kind of getting to the edge of the tolerance.
Perfect. Thank you. So we also have a short video to demonstrate Scott actually in action using our arms. And I'm going to, again, let him speak on the technical side of what we're doing here and what's going on for you.
Okay, as that gets going there. So as we come on site, you see the equipment that we're going to use there. We can do a fixed mount like that to your tooling or fixturing. We've got different magnetic mounts and a tripod mount to accommodate pretty much any need to what the customer's setup is. And this is going to kind of give you a quick snapshot of how quickly the laser scanning works. If anybody's seen this before, you're a little bit familiar with it. If you hadn't, it's going to kind of just paint the picture with thousands of points in a matter of seconds. I think this kind of goes through maybe a 30-second pass that we ended up to capture that detail. Now that's capturing the scan of the part. You got a point cloud there, and you can go analyze that, creating features and back to your drawing. That test part there on the table, we're just kind of show the scanning capability of it and then how it turns into the report that you saw. If we can do the programming ahead of time, as Nick mentioned, having the information ahead of time, we can sometimes program before we get there. So when we come in, this is sort of how the process will flow. The data points will be extracted as soon as the point cloud is taken, generate you a color map, whatever the customer needs to see. And we can kind of do that ahead of time, or if we have to do that once we're on site, that can be done pretty quickly as well. And that's kind of going through the report again of what came out of that scan. And there's the table, again, we looked at before, showing the surface point deviation to CAD. And this is demonstrating the 8th axis. This is something new, that if you've got a part that is too large to move around, to get from one side to the next, to keep from having to do multiple setups, it's encoded back to the arm to know where it's at in space the whole time you're scanning. And you can see as the table was moving around, the part is staying in the same coordinate system. And there's sort of a finished product of the scan of the point cloud that you're looking at. And this fixture here is just showing something on a larger scale to give you an idea of not having to move around to multiple sides of the part that you're measuring, that it can rotate around to where you're at to kind of speed up the process.
And how much weight can we put on that 8th axis, Scott?
That can hold up to about 250 pounds. We can fixture something to that.
Okay, perfect. So that's just a general overview, quick look at a few of our items there in process and in use with the Faro arm and that 8-axis capability. There's a lot of opportunities for measurement on site for you all. So we have had some questions come through. So we're going to go through our Q&As. We've had a couple come through. And then if you have any questions so far, just a really quick overview of this and how we can help everyone on site with your measurement needs. But we'll go through some initial questions that we got right now. And let's see. First one that we got, do you rent out your Faro arms? We currently do not rent out our Faro arms. We do have to maintain them in our possession at all times to ensure that our calibration integrity stays intact. We do, however, can provide on-site training. If you have your own arms, we can provide any training for your technicians in-house, as well, of course, as set up on any part or fixture or measurement solutions you need. We can work with you to formulate a solution on site as well. I'm going to let Scott take this one. It says, are there any temperature limitations for on-site measurement?
We can, so the beauty of the portable arm is that it can compensate for the shop floor. So you kind of want to stay at 100 degrees at max temperature and not go under 50. As you know, like typical CMMs in a lab have to be in a controlled environment. These are built to adjust for the temperature changes as far as the workshop environment. So that's what they're built to do.
Perfect. Perfect. So no temperature. As long as it's under 100 degrees, it sounds like it's good. How large of a part can you measure? Is there a part too large? No part is too large. And maybe Scott can give us a little bit more on that.
Yeah, so we have the capability, you know, we showed the turntable there before where you can rotate the part around. If you got a large tool or mold, or if your part is larger than the arm's reach, it can be leapfrogged down to stay on the same coordinate system and be able to put all that data together. So that is an option as well.
Perfect. And then, okay, yeah, this is a great question. We actually see this a lot. It says, can you be on site while we are making adjustments to our process? And the answer is yes. We actually do a lot of this, and as we mentioned it very briefly before, but as you're honing in on your process, developing a new tool, new process, changing things, or tweaking anything internally, we actually can be on site with our equipment and help you dial in that process. And we've done that quite a few times with some of our customers. Anything you would like to add on that?
Yeah, just working with the tooling guys, the engineering departments, as they need to tweak in tools during trial runs, prototype runs. This is perfect for it to be there to measure, make an adjustment, remeasure, and dial in your components.
Perfect. Let's see. It looks like all right. So that's the main questions we got so far. I do want to thank everyone for your time and joining us. I know y'all have busy days and busy schedules, so we really appreciate you joining us. If there are any other questions that you come up with or didn't think of, or if you weren't able to attend live, we will load this onto our website for you as well, so you can watch it back. But you can also reach out to us either via website or directly at our to Sean Falconer, who is our service manager who oversees our on-site inspection division. Feel free to reach out to him directly. We've got his email posted, or you can reach out to J.A. King as well. Again, we can't thank you enough for joining us and spending some time with us today. We really look forward to working with you all soon.